The Druid wisdom is something that's kind of been kept hidden over the past centuries and even beyond that since Druids walked the earth. So I'm Catherine, I'm a channeler of the Druid consciousness, and I bring forth their ancient wisdom and grounded guidance to the world now to allow for us to live a more aligned life. And so the question that came through from a subscriber was, why do we have to connect with the elements? What is it that they do that allow for our life to be more in alignment? Because so much of what the Druids talk about is about the elements, about earth, air, water, fire, and then the celestial or ether. So today I'm going to channel on that to allow us to have a better understanding of how to utilize them and how to really bring their energy into our lives and to rely on them. So give me a moment. The elements are here because they are what Earth provides, what Mother Earth has provided to allow for each of you to lean into the support system, to lean into the structure, to lean into what is there. And so, as we've talked about other times, but we will reiterate yet again, is that the sense of the elements are the energies that Mother Earth is making a little more concise so that you're better able to lean into them. For example, you can say, will you, to eat, many of you will use a knife, a fork, and a spoon. And so you will utilize a knife to cut. Now, yes, you can use the edge of a fork or a spoon to cut, but it is much easier to use a knife. So we will use that as an example. So yes, the energy that you need can come from, say, another element or come from just earth overall. But yet, if you want to get more specific, it is easier to cleanse when you are using water versus when you are using earth. But it is possible with earth, but it is just done in a different way. And so this is how we mention all of these. So when you look at earth, we are going to go through each of them, but when you look at earth overall, earth is about grounding. It is about your foundation. It is what you need to lean into to have a better understanding of what makes you you. What is your passion? What is your belief system? What is the structure of who you are? What makes you root down in somewhere? And even for those of you that are very transient, that haven't really done that, but what makes you root? What really would connect you down in? And what does connect you down in, even if it's not in one place? So that is what you need to look at from an earth standpoint. What is that connection to what is there? How does that connect you with? And how does that make you who you are? And that is a great question for you to think about is who am I? And that is a question at a soul level, not just at a human level. So you have to look at it from the who am I. So earth is when you really need to ground, when you really need to get back to who you are, find your foundation. Now, this does not mean that things may not shift. There may be certain beliefs that you say, I'm not ready for that, or that doesn't serve me anymore, or a program that's there, or just what makes you you. You may say, no, that's not me anymore. And so Earth will make those shifts for you. And it will allow for you to say, this is where I'm at. So really think about it as a foundation or, of what makes you where you are. From there, then you can look at water. So water is all about the flow and the movement. Also has power behind it. It is about cleansing, clearing, but it also holds a lot of energy. It can also allow for you to see your emotions. It allows for that emotional piece because it can help clear them away. It can help you feel that lull of being in water as you're moving back and forth. It is about that connection. And so water is used many times when you need to cleanse yourself of something, when something no longer serves you. You will notice you'll be pulled into a body of water. You might look and say, I'm looking to go sit near a lake or an ocean or a river, or I'm called to live by one. It is about that sense of that cleansing, that clearing, but it also has that power behind it. And it also will help with your emotions to help allow for those to come and go and to let them go when they are ready to be let go of. So you utilize water in that way. Now, it is not to say water can't help with a foundation, because as you can clear away your emotions, as you can clear away those energies or those things that no longer serve you, you may come to find that it will adjust your foundation because you are learning, you are growing, and that is exactly what needs to be. So you can take those new things and you can allow that to be built into your foundation of who you are. So next we will go into air. So air is a beautiful element that truly is the life force energy that is there. And yes, there are those of you that will say, well, no, you have to have water or you will not survive. But but what is important for you to know and to recognize is air is even more important than water, where you cannot live without air for a few minutes. And so it is about that understanding that air is that life force energy. It is about harmony. It is about balance. It is about finding what is in your life that is maybe out of balance, how to realign that, how to come in to allow for that to become level again. And yes, we know with life things will go up and down, but it really is about that connection and that ease of things coming in. And so that is where air can help. So feel a breeze across your face. Take a very deep breath or do breath work to allow for you to feel that. Go to a place where the air moves a lot, where you can feel the wind, feel that movement, and you can hear it through rustling of leaves or the howl as it goes past something. So air is there to allow for each of you to really say, what is my life force? What makes me want to move, to go, to live this life? And then you can look back on, how is that connected to water? Is there anything that needs to adjust? And then how is that affected by my foundation? That is something else to look at. So then we will go to fire. And fire is the element of transformation. It is the element that really allows for things to crumble down, that death, that dying as fire takes it out, and that rebirth of something new. The same way you see if there is a patch of land that is burned. What happens? This new growth starts to come anew. It starts to come up. And fire is that spark inside of you. What lights that spark and turns that spark up? What is it that calls to you? What is it that ignites those passions, those foundations, those desires that you have? Is it your career, your hobbies, your family? But what makes you wake up in the morning and go, I'm ready to take on the day? That is about knowing that you are ready. That spark is lit inside of you. And so fire is about that transformation. It is about how have you shifted through all of these things to really become the person you are. If you think back to Earth, you said, who am I? Well, fire allows that ability to transform, to really understand who you are, or to lean more into that energy of who you are. And so that is the beauty of how all of this comes together, is that it is a sense of that, yes, this is where I am. This is how I want to make shifts and changes in my life. This is where people will notice you have made a change, you have made a shift, and that you are ready to do these in a very different way. And that as you do this, as you come into this, that it is allowing for you to see that. So when you think to work with fire, it is about allowing for you to see a candle in front of you, or perhaps you have a bonfire in front of you, but to look at that and say, what am I willing to let fire burn? Is it certain things that no longer serve you? Are it things that you're going to write down on a piece of paper and then burn them? Is it going out and standing under the sun and offering up the things that no longer align with you, or that you're ready to transform? Perhaps you're ready to make a big shift within your career, or a big shift geographically. You're moving and you're saying, I'm ready to transform. I'm ready for this to happen. And so you're asking for the sun to support you, for the sun is a great ball of fire energy. And so this is what is important, is that as all of these things are coming in, it is about you having this sense of when can you lean into one or the other? How can you allow for each of these elements to really support you on your journey of life? And then we go to the fifth element, celestial or ether, it's called many times. And for this, it is about you having a sense of that you are coming into this placement, that you are a soul that has come in, that has set into that this is the path, this is the purpose. And so it is about that alignment to what is it that your soul needs? What is it that it needs to fulfill its reason for being here, or to at least feel more aligned to its path and purpose? Because when you work as a human, your human self is about aligning to that path and purpose. But the soul is the one that can help lead the way. The soul is the one that truly knows where you need to be and how those things all come together. And so, as these things shift in and as these things come in, it is about that sense of, yes, this is where I'm at. And so, it's about when you work with the celestial, it's saying, now that I've done this work from a human standpoint, the soul can be more understood, can be more directional, and can be more set with where it needs to go and where it needs to be. And as that shift happens, as that shift comes in, it really makes a sense of that you are the person you needed to be, that you are allowing for this oneness to come in, this oneness to happen. And so it is making a sense of that as this shifting, that you are able to really go on your path, feel that alignment, and feel that sense of who and what you are. And so, as you work with all five of these elements, you will come to find that you will be able to relate in more. You can do these through meditations, you can do these through rituals, you could do them through working with the element, like digging into the dirt is a great way to connect in with earth, and really sit with their energy. Sit under a tree. Just lean with your back against it and just feel that energy. Feel what earth feels like. Do the same with each of the elements. Allow for you to feel their energy. Feel where they are. And then when you are ready, you can then look at the different aspects of an element. So, for example, earth, you have many different types of earth. You have mountains, you have grassy lands, you have more of a desert earth. You have all of these different types of earth that can be shown. The same way with water. You can have river, stream, ocean, bay, and so many more. And so on and so far forth for air and fire. But this will allow for you to have this grasp of that when you need something and say you're working with earth, you're saying, you know what? The earth of the desert's a little too fiery for me. You know what? The earth by the wetlands is a little too watery for me. I'm going to go to the mountains, or I'm going to go to the dry plains. Wherever it is for you, you just know that you can then lean into that energy a little better because all elements that are there have mixing. And so don't get stuck up on or caught up on, well, I need this particular type of earth to be able to do this. That is not necessary. Use what you have. Lean into where you are. If you just allow for your soul to lead you on this path, it will tell you what element is most needed. Because as you're on earth, as you're living in earth, and each of you are earth, your bodies are earth. It will allow for you to find that balance of what is the body asking for, what is the soul needing, and which element can fulfill that. Because when you utilize the elements, you're using what Mother Earth and the universe has provided. It is part of the elements, that's part of the energy that is there. And so as you become one with them, As you know, you will find that you will feel the air upon your face when you need it the most, or you will be called to light a candle, or you will be called to go for a walk outside. Either way, you will know which one you need, and it'll be about leaning into that, letting it support you so that you can live in this journey of life, that you can live with it supported fully, not just by your family and friends and those around you, but by the earth, the elements, and what was provided for you. So use them as tools, tools to allow you to continue to ascend, to grow, and to experience because they are want to help. They would like to help. And so now it is about leaning into that and allowing for them to provide the information and knowledge that is there. Well, that added a lot of clarity. And I hope for each of you, it makes you understand why the elements are so important. I utilize them a lot in my work, and I've even built a workbook on how to utilize the elements to really find your life in a more aligned way and to live within your life purpose as I work with clients one on one who do it, but also allow for people to take their own journey with it. So, when you are in the need of something, when you are looking for something, lean into what element would support you with that the best. Even though we know they all can support, lean into the one that would support you the most. So next time you're feeling very emotional, you're very your energy is just very tight and stuck, maybe go take a shower, take a bath, feel that water coming over you and let that water wash it away. Or perhaps you're really feeling like you need a shift and a change and you don't know where to go or what to do. Sit before a candle or a flame and just watch it burn and ask it, what is it doing for you? Allow for it to allow for that transformation to come forward. So you do know what your next steps are. So just make sure that as you do each of these things, that you're leaning into that element and thanking it for what it does. For the elements are here to support us, and the Druids use them a lot in their work. And as you get to know myself more and the Druids more, you'll get to know we work with them quite a bit as well. And I mention them a lot. And that's just because they're tools. They're here to help us. They're what's been provided by the universe, by Mother Earth, to really allow for us to have a better sense of where we are. So I want to thank our subscriber for giving me this question for the week. And as a reminder, for any subscribers and followers, please send your questions in. I love hearing what everyone has because sometimes I think this information is just basic, it's just known, and it actually isn't because I've worked with the Druids for so long. So send your questions in. And if there is someone that you think would benefit from these channelings that I do each week, please send it over to them as it will just help the algorithm make sure that our message can get to more like minded people. So, with that, have a wonderful day and go find what element calls most to you and let me know what that is.